This is the Transformers Generations Studio Series Gamer Edition from the video game WarnFor Cybertron, Voyager class Autobot Ratchet. Now this figure actually looks pretty interesting. I picked up this figure from my local Toy Kingdom store for about $35, which is weird. Normally Voyager class figures, like the legacy figures, they're going for easily $46, $46, but Studio Series apparently are much cheaper here in Manila. Go figure. 35 bucks for this figure. Let's get him out of packaging.
Ratchet, Autobot needs repair.
Be still. Get you fixed up.
Optimus, it's a trap. Surely you see that.
And here is Gamer Edition Ratchet out of the box. And man, was I wrong about this figure. This figure is not just, it's not a bad figure. It's actually pretty amazing. I was so wrong about this figure because when it was first revealed through the Pulse show, I really thought this figure was going to be yellowing way before it reached shelves. I thought it was going to be engineered horribly. I thought it was going to have craptastic plastic quality. I really didn't think there was anything to like about this figure when they revealed it. I thought it was going to be one of the worst outings for 2024, but I could not be further from the truth. I was so wrong about this figure. It is so far the best Gamer Edition figure they've released, I think. And it's going to be one of the best releases for this year. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's not make too many generalizations and conclusions about this figure until the end of the video. Let's first address a few of my biggest concerns, or maybe it was your concerns as well. A lot of us had really strong concerns about the white plastic on this figure. And I can tell you right now, it is absolute quality plastic. I don't think it's going to yellow. I think this is the kind of plastic that doesn't yellow. It's not that gray plastic we've gotten from Soundwave or Megatron. I think it's a very solid, it feels like one of those plastics that if you've seen those marbled plastic, gold plastic or red plastic, it feels like it's kind of that. It doesn't give off a pearlescent hue, but it does have a very glossy finish to it. It's very premium, very solid, very thick. It doesn't even feel like a Studio Series figure, much less a Gamer Edition figure. The plastic quality they use for Bumblebee, for even that figure of the year, Optimus Prime, this thing is by leaps and bounds, 10 times, 100 times better type of plastic quality than those other guys. I really love it. I love the gloss. I love the weight of this figure. I love the solidness of this figure. So that's white plastic and plastic quality addressed. As far as engineering goes, we will see later in Transformation, one of the more satisfying, definitely one of the more engineered figures. It's not perfect. I'll talk about that later, but very near perfect engineering on this figure. I've never been so excited about a figure's engineering, about how a figure felt since I reviewed the Bumblebee movie concept series, Studio Series, Deluxe Class, Sunstreaker. I had to let that one go because it wasn't a perfect figure, but I was so excited about that figure. And this one, I think my excitement's doubled. I've never been as excited to actually play with a figure, to actually fiddle with a figure since that Sunstreaker figure. Okay, another concern was paint apps. A lot of people are saying he doesn't have enough paint because if you remember, if you play the game, this guy doesn't look anything like his game render. So if you play the game, you will know that he looks something like this. Very dirty, very battle-worn. Even in alt mode, there's a lot of that WarnFor Cybertron Trilogy Siege type of paint apps going on, and he's really a mess. But you know what? I'm actually quite pleased and very happy that they didn't do this kind of aesthetic for this figure. I really have this big disdain, this great disdain for battle damage aesthetics or battle damage paint apps. I don't know. Some people say it just gives the figure more character, it gives it a better edge, it makes it edgier. But for me, I like them clean. I like them like fresh out of the factory. I'm pretty sure a lot of the customizers are going to go wild, go crazy, and have a field day with this figure and make him look like this. But I really appreciate Hasbro for not turning this into a battle damaged figure. I'm pretty sure down the line they'll probably re-release this figure in battle damage colors. I'm sure that's going going to happen, and it's in the best interest of Hasbro to just keep re-releasing their figures. But the first release, I am completely happy with this one. So, talking about paint apps, everything seems to be on point. Oh, forgot to do this. My bad. Autobot logo right there. You can see that a lot of the highlights of the paint, the medic symbol, look at the sort of pseudo-metallic paint finishes that this guy has. Very, very nice. The axe is painted beautifully. You got the rims painted with some like energy, red energy. You get some, I guess, gunmetal gray, metallic gunmetal gray highlights here and there. You get some red highlights here and there. But a lot of the plastic is unpainted. And the body and the accessories, they are painted beautifully. My biggest complaint about this figure, and this is going to sound like a nitpick because it's not even that big of an issue, is the way the head sculpt has been painted. You can see this head sculpt is glorious. It looks, well, some people will argue it's not accurate to the game, but I love it. I love the design. But you can see that the white paint that they used for the face and the crest has some inconsistencies and imperfections. I had to sift through 11 figures. I don't think it was 11. I think it was 13 different figures on the shelf just to find one that was acceptable. This was the best one I could find. Some of them had missing paint here. There's some smudges. Some were scratched off. You could see some red dots here and there. A lot of the figures had like smudging on the cheeks, on the chin. Most of the eyes were painted okay. I didn't have any complaints with the eyes, but there were some that had some like thumbprint, like I don't know if it's a thumb, it's like finger smudge right there on the chin or on the cheek. It's like the white paint apps that they're using for the old Marvel Legends figures has come back to haunt us and has reared its ugly head with this Transformers figure. Oh man, I thought they could have done a better job with that paint apps, and that's it. Everything is freaking awesome. Sobrang ganda nitong figure na to. Hindi ako makapaniwala kung gaano kaganda siya. I really thought this thing was gonna suck. I cannot believe the moment I held it, transformed it. I've only transformed it once and I already enjoy it. And just posing him around, oh man, it was such a treat. This is, again, like the concept series Sunstreaker. It reminds us of why we love Transformers. Let's talk about articulation. The neck is on a ball joint. You got a waist swivel. I didn't actually think there was going to be a waist swivel, but it is essential to transformation. The shoulder pads actually move up and allow you to move the arms in and out, swivel forward and backward. 360, you got a bicep swivel, hinge elbow that bend both ways. The forearm, at least on the right one, has a little bit of a swivel because of the removable gimmick. We'll talk about the accessories later. The hips are on hinges, allow you to do the splits, kick forward, backward. He doesn't actually have a thigh swivel. The thigh swivel is like pretty low. It acts like a knee swivel. Got a knee hinge. And the toes, they can move up and down because of transformation. And he's got a rocker tilt, but you got to detach the feet from being pegged onto the side panels right here. So it pegs on in transformation. You got to detach it if you want to use that rocker tilt. So all in all, fantastic articulation. Okay, you probably noticed he's missing an arm. The arm is actually tucked nicely right here. I mean, come on. This is so well engineered. The arm doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. No pun intended. You can unpeg it and then replace his repair arm. I think I've seen this in that clip. He was using this to repair Bumblebee. So it's like I guess you can use it as a claw, but mostly as a repair tool. So it hides very nicely in that backpack kibble. I love it. Okay, you can store this one here on the back if you're not using it. Now the axe. The axe was actually a little bit of a problem for me when I was fiddling with this figure before reviewing it. It was very difficult to put it into his hand. It's detachable and you got to insert it underneath his hand. And it is very, very tight. It is super tight. It took me like 3, 4, I think 7 attempts at inserting it and just twisting it about just to put it in. I know I could have put some WD-40, but I don't have a silicone. I don't have one that's silicone based. I have one that's oil-based, so I was afraid I'd ruin the plastic. Somebody had told me before that I could ruin the plastic. I didn't want to risk it. So It's always tight the first time you do it. When you insert it, it's going to be tight the first time, but when you keep at it, just twist it, you'll get it through. And after about 7 attempts, I was able to get that through. You could assemble the battle axe, and boy, I don't even recall him having a battle axe. Okay, you peg it on the back. I actually thought you had to peg it right here on this middle section of the axe. It doesn't work. You can't peg it right here. You have to peg it here at the top section, and he can store everything on his back, all his accessories, and still look pretty cool. I mean, come on. The sculpt looks great. There's nothing awkward about this robot mode. I thought the arms would be way too long, but I'm actually pretty okay with it. The wheels are riveted. We'll see more of that in alt mode. Diorama right here. I forgot to mention it. Very, very cool looking diorama. Let's get that out of the way. And let's see some comparisons. Here we have the Studio Series 86 Voyager class Ratchet. They're exactly about the same height. If I can just get my tape measure. Both figures stand at about 15 centimeters tall, or about 5 7/8 inches tall. And here he is with another Voyager class figure from the Legacy line. We've got Tarn from the Versus 4-pack. So transformation can be pretty involved, can be tedious and cumbersome at times, but it's very satisfying once you get it right. So I've only transformed him once. So I'm going to do my best to show it off, but it's a little complex, and sometimes the instructions are just clear as mud. And I feel like for those who are veteran collectors of Transformers, you're better off just figuring things out on your own instead of reading the instructions. But the instructions do help somewhat. Okay, so let's get rid of the weapons, setting them off to the sides. Incidentally, this repair arm or repair claw does rotate as well. It's on a swivel joint. Okay, so to transform him, first thing you want to do is you want to lift these shoulder pieces. Incidentally, the shoulder pieces have extra flaps, which are not part of the transformation. I haven't actually figured out. The instructions don't tell you what to do with them. I think it could have been part of another gimmick that they canceled, but I'm happy. I'm not complaining. Like extra pieces, like there's a metal rivet right there. Oh, okay. I'm not complaining. So what you want to do is you want to just put it up like this. Just set it up there. And then what you want to do is you want to remove the backpack. Go ahead and fold it out like that. And I guess you can already put the shoulder pads up like that. They're just going to stay right there. You want to detach the whole torso assembly. Okay, you want to fold it out like that. You want to compress this head sculpt. Don't fold all the way in, just pull his chin down. That's going to stay right there. And these things, they're sort of going to nestle this abdomen piece right there. So you've done it properly when the shoulder pads are just kind of sitting right there. They don't really tab into anything or anywhere. The instructions don't tell you. They're very vague on what to do with these pieces, so you just keep it right there. Okay, the arms are probably the trickiest, and the legs, but the arms are a little bit more tricky. Okay, so what you want to do is, you see this hinge right here with the red pieces? You're going to want to fold those now. The instructions tell you not to at this time, but I think it just helps you, it guides you how to fold these shoulders better if you already detach these hinges. Okay, so what you want to do is, you see this slot right there? That's going to find its way here onto this tab. So to do so, you want to fold the hinge right here. You want to fold the arms in the opposite direction, kind of squeeze it in and tab it right there. That's what you need to do. If you're able to do that, then you're on the right track. You're in good shape. Okay, so do the same on the other side. You want to fold it up and then fold it backwards and squeeze it underneath the chest. Okay, once you've done that, you're good. Okay, then you see these tabs right here. They're going to slot onto the underside of the forearm. You're going to fold it like that. See, if you did not fold this, it's going to be kind of difficult as to fold, and then just squeeze things in as what the instructions say. So once you fold them, you're easily guided as to where these arms are going to go. Okay, so just tab them in like that, and they're going to stay right there. Don't worry about the wrist swiveling. You know, it's on purpose, I think, so that you get out of the way and you can move pieces and panels. Well, into their position. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and fold the backpack. You want to go ahead and tab this piece right here, tab here, and then tab onto the sides of the fenders. And that's essentially the front part of the ambulance or the Cybertronian vehicle, the Cybertronian van, okay? That's the best way, that's the easiest way I know to do so, because instructions have like a 6-7 steps how to do that. I've done it in like, 3 steps. Okay, you want to rotate the waist assembly, okay? And then you want to rotate the thighs or the knees, okay? You want to just get these toes out of the way. These shin panels, you want to fold them up. And then these panels right here, you want to fold them out. Be careful because they're on friction joints and they do tend to pop off fairly easily. Just be careful. They're on friction joints. It's easy to pop them back. Okay, just fold them out back like this. Make sure that you fold them out flush and that these panels line up. Okay. At this point, you can already tab the feet. The rocker hinges, you can tab them right there. These panels right here, you want to fold them out. Tab them here onto the sides. There, you can already see where this is going. You're trying to form the side rear panels of the vehicle. Okay, once you've done that, everything's locked and loaded. You want to bend and fold the hinge on the knee right here. Isn't that the coolest thing? Kind of reminds me of Brawn's transformation or Hound's transformation. So you squeeze it in. Some clearance issues. That's probably the most annoying thing about this figure. When you're trying to fold the panels around each other, there will be clearance issues, and you can work around it. Just be patient. Okay, so at this point, what you want to do is you make sure everything's aligned. You want to tab. The instructions tell you to tab simultaneously the knees, these shins, these panels right here, and these panels right here. So good luck. What I want to do first is I want to tab these, and I honestly hate these, like the alternating tabs, because I feel over time they're going to break. I really feel they're going to break. They're going to become brittle and break. So, yeah. Okay. Tab the knees and then these shins. Again, alternating tabs. They are a pain to remove. They're easy to put in, but it's very difficult to remove. So, put them together. Put them together. Okay. We're in good shape. Now, these panels right here, you're going to tab them. Okay, and then the knees or the shins are going to tab onto the toes. You're going to tab here, tab here. Okay, look at him. He's like a convertible. Kind of reminds me of Barbie's car, Barbie Mobile. This is like a convertible. They had enough space here. You can put Titan Masters here or Prime Masters, but no, you can't really. But yeah, there you go. Convertible mode. I didn't actually notice this until now. Okay, then these double panels, they're going to slide and fold over everything. Just go underneath those tabs, and if you're lucky, you should end up with something like this. No. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me just push that out. Okay, there we go. See. Okay, there we go. Okay, I did notice on my copy, it's not as flush. The doors aren't as flush with the windows. I mean, there is still some gappage there, but very minor complaint. Like I said, clearance issues where it needs to be flush, it's not. Where it needs to be a little bit loose, it's kind of tight. But overall, that transformation is one of the best ones I've seen. It's a little involved, but it is satisfying. Like I said, it's like a notch higher. A level higher than Concept Art Sunstreaker, and I just had a blast and just feeling very satisfied once I got it right. I transformed it once. This is the second time I've transformed it, and I'm still having fun with it. Okay, so this is the alt mode. He does roll very nicely. The shins do clear everything. The weapons, this one, the claw tabs on. It's got a pair of flat pegs, tab on there. And then the battle axe, there's some peg holes right there. Parallel peg holes, you can tab it right there, and it actually forms like a cannon on top of the vehicle. And he looks pretty amazing. The pictures, marketing pics on this figure did not do it justice. It really, really looks great. So let me just get rid of these weapons so you can appreciate his scale. Here is Kingdom, WarnFor Cybertron Trilogy. Sideswipe. Very cool. And bringing another Voyager class figure, we've got the animated universe Optimus Prime. Arguably, he's much bigger, but in terms of scale, they're about the same, I think. Yeah. Yeah, they could totally live in the same multiverse. Very, very nice. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Gamer Edition WarnFor Cybertron Ratchet. I mean, come on. This figure just blew me away. I had no idea it was going to be this great. I had misjudged it prematurely, thinking that this was going to be the worst, one of the worst figures for the year, and it turned out to be one of the best outings for 2024. I kid you not. If you've not pre-ordered this figure, or you're thinking, I'm gonna pass up on this one, I don't know how to convince you anymore to buy this figure, because this is definitely, at least for now, from where I'm standing, this is the best Gamer Edition figure in the Studio Series line from Hasbro and Takara Tomy. The Optimus Prime WarnFor Cybertron figure, sure, that was good. Yeah, people were thinking it was going to be figure of the year, but I promise you, this figure is at least 10 times better than that figure. I love the quality of the plastic. I love the way Hasbro really invested in this figure. The engineering, the transformation was pretty much well thought out, that it was such a treat. It was so satisfying transforming him, despite having some little cumbersome and tedious bits of the transformation process. Sure, some clearances could have been measured properly, but overall, I thought the transformation and engineering was absolutely spot on. Articulation of the figure was great. The aesthetic, the look and feel, the sculpting, everything's great. The paint apps, except for that head sculpt. That's the minor nitpick. Probably the only, if at all, the only problem this figure has is the paint on its head sculpt. But everything else, the gimmicks, the way the weapons store, everything's tight, everything's solid, everything's heavy. Oh my gosh, this is one of those Transformers that will really, really get you excited about collecting Transformers. This figure is just amazing, and I'm glad to be proven wrong. I thought it was going to be an easy flip after reviewing it. I was going to say, it's a piece of crap, I'm going to flip it. But no, I think I'm going to hang on to this figure for a while, at least until the next monthly purge. So it's not a super perfect figure, but it's pretty gosh darn good. I'm going to give this figure a 9.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Generations Studio Series Gamer Edition from the video game WarnFor Cybertron Voyager class Autobot Ratchet. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.